Hi, this is Nick Dawson, the editor-in-chief of Talkhouse Film, and you're listening to the Talkhouse Film podcast. Today's episode is a special one. For a start, because this is, well, something of an unlikely pairing, and also because the two artists in conversation are both incredibly gifted and magnetic personalities. On April 12th, 2016, at Boulevard Recording in Los Angeles, the studio where Pink Floyd recorded The Wall, Kid Cudi sat down to talk with Paul Reubens, whose new movie, Pee-wee's Big Holiday, is out now through Netflix. What do these two people have in common, I hear you ask? Well, Cudi grew up a huge fan of Pee-wee's Playhouse and actually first met Reubens 5 years ago when Cudi was acting under his birth name, Scott Mescudi, in the HBO show How to Make It in America. For all their differences in age and background, the two have one huge thing in common, which is that they are born entertainers. And that's something you'll know yourself if you've ever seen a Pee-wee movie or been to a Cudi show, or if you've watched Reubens in, say, Blow, or his recent guest spots in Gotham, or Cudi's performances in films as diverse as James White and Need for Speed. But to really understand how they click, it's maybe best just to listen to their conversation, which touches on how they first met, Reubens' journey to bring Pee-wee Herman back to the big screen, his excitement about the new Jungle Book movie, Cudi's strong dislike of skunks and a recent encounter with a mountain lion, plus a discussion by both of planned creative projects they've never talked about before.
I remembered this morning on my way here that I met you on the exact same day I met Joe Manganiello, who's the co-star of my movie.
Right on. And that was like a moment I replay in my mind a lot and tell all my friends. But
it was last month, 5 years ago.
That's crazy. And we've known each other that long. Mm-hmm. And that's, for me, and just to bring everybody up to speed, when I saw Paul, I forgot the party. I think it was like an Emmys party, something like that, some after party. And I kind of geeked out. I had a few drinks, but I just lost it when I saw him because I'm just such a big fan. And, a lot of my friends and he's just such an idol of mine. Everybody that I know idolizes him. And I have T-shirts at home. So to see him in the flesh at that moment, it was
Well, that was the
freaky.
same for me, too, because you had just come off of your HBO show. It was an HBO party.
Right. That's
and
what it was.
And you had just come off that show, so I was freaked out to see you too. It was really exciting.
Man, that was wild for me. That was actually early on one of the freakiest moments, meeting someone that I was a fan of in real life. Well, you try to keep your composure, and it's like, I can't.
And what's the point anyway? Who cares?
Yeah.
Like that stuff. No, 3 people did that to me that night, and all 3 people I'm now friends with. So it was super cool.
Keeping it real,
Yeah.
But over the years I noticed that is rare. It's rare that another artist comes to another artist and acknowledges their art and just praises them, and it's because it's so competitive, or maybe there's some egos. But if I'm a fan of somebody's stuff, I'm gonna let them know, and it's beyond fandom. It's something else. So it's the spirit of my childhood. So even watching the new movie with my mom, who had to deal with me hogging the TV early mornings, watching the show, and her sitting down enjoying it with me and really enjoying it. It brought back so many memories. Even the opening claymation production credits. It was cool, man. It's man, this is just I'm tuning in to Pee-wee's Playhouse all over again. So,
where's your mom? Is your mom here?
She just left, actually. She was visiting me for a week. She went back to Cleveland. And it's freezing there. She didn't want to go. But I tried to get her to stay, but she's got her life, So I wanted to ask you some questions about the film. I was actually supposed to be in the film, guys, but I couldn't make it out of the studio to be in the scene. It was the whale scene, actually, that you guys were shooting.
Yeah.
And I was really, really bummed about that. And especially watching the film, I was even more pissed. But there were a lot of great cameos. And how long did it take you to conceive the idea, to even get the idea to paper with Paul Rust? And how long from that point to get it on screen?
We probably spent somewhere between 6 and 9 months writing the first draft of it.
Wow.
I was working here in LA on a show, and then that show went to Broadway, and so we were working during that time, on Skype. I would call him when the show came down at midnight or whenever it was, and it would be 9 o'clock here in California, and we would just be on Skype for 3 or 4 hours. I would know it was time to quit when my lava lamp went off automatically. It was on a timer, and when it would go off, and it would be 4:30 a.m.
Nice.
And I'd be like, oh yeah, you got to go to sleep now. But it took us about eight or 9 months, and then 4 4 years after that is when it got made.
Oh, wow.
So we rewrote it several times.
Wow. So how did you get to a point where you were like, okay, this is it? Because if you're doing something that long, you had to get to a point where like, I have to let this go. This is my baby, but I have to, you know.
We didn't. No. We wrote right till the very last minute. We met every weekend while it was a 7-week shoot, and every weekend we met and looked at what was coming up that week and rewrote that.
Wow. So it was a work in progress, the whole thing. I think that's how a lot of great stuff is made anyway. If you think about some of the other stuff, even the things I was raised up on, just one movie, for example, Evil Dead, which is, I'm just a huge horror movie fan, and I just heard about, a lot of things that were happening on set they just discovered in the moment, discovering things, trying new things. Throughout the movie, it's these amazing sequences of these gadgets and these gizmos and things going off, and like, who conceived all those ideas? Like, was you guys hired someone to just come up with, ideas to come up with the contraption and the chair and the skis?
Oh, no. We just wrote that over a period of time, and then we tweaked it a lot right before we were shooting it. When the people came in, it's all inspired by Rube Goldberg. Right. And I had done it in my first movie, in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And so in the time since that movie happened, OK Go, all these people have done a lot of music videos that have that stuff in real time, where somebody spends a really long time figuring all that out. And we didn't have all that luxury. And plus, so many people had seen that so many times that I felt like we could just do the movie version of it, where it's all done in editing, and you can kind of tell that it probably doesn't really work on its own for real. So
it was seamless, though. I mean, I thought everything. I mean, it seemed like even with the puppets in the opening sequence with the alien, you guys could have totally went CGI, but you decided to have a practical puppet on the set.
Yeah,
made it a little bit more.
I'm glad you noticed that. Like,
come on, you know me.
I love that. No, I really liked it too. We did talk about CGI, and we just thought it was cool to be old school.
Yeah, and it is, because it's like I can tell that you're in the scene with something. It's something there in the space. I don't know if it's because I'm getting into acting now, or I'm kind of, that illusion is broken now for me. But, it's kind of tough for me to watch certain movies because it's just, you're getting so much CGI. And
I saw The Jungle Book last night.
What'd you think?
Oh, my God. Have you seen it?
No, but I want to.
It's unbelievable. I mean, there's CGI for good,
They got the best money to do the best work.
God, it's incredible.
I can't wait.
Incredible.
Oh, man, I'm so excited because my daughter, she's discovering these things. I've showed her.
Is she like first grade now?
She
7?
will be in first grade next year. Well, this year, later this year. So it's interesting to watch her consume Jungle Book like I consumed it as a kid once upon a time. Even she's a new fan of yours. I was meaning to tell you. I started to email you this, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna save this for when I see him face to face. My daughter has fallen in love with Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Well, she has great taste. I can tell.
She's like, and I'm like, well, it's like, of course my seed is gonna enjoy the show. I enjoyed it. That's the beauty of what we do of art, things that have heart, a powerful message, because, that was something that Pee-wee had for me. It was just this wondrous heart, this childlike sensibility. And even though in the movie, like when he falls in the well, there's a boy that fell in the well. It's like, that still for me is like, Pee-wee is like that big kid always. And I think now that as an adult, I appreciate it in another way.
We got a call from Netflix to tell us after the first weekend that the movie had started streaming on Netflix that it was tracking really great with kids, and I'm like super excited about that. And just to hear you talking about your daughter watching it too, it's
we have to send her a picture. We have to do something.
Okay,
we have to do something, or personalize a message in Pee-wee's voice saying "Hey Beta" or something.
They're $35 each. The photos.
I got.
No, I'm just kidding.
I have cash. I have anything you need. Whatever you need, I'll wash your car. But that's, like I said, man, that's the beauty of about what you do and what makes.
Well, the Jungle Book is a little tiny bit scary, I gotta say. For little kids, your daughter may have to wait a year or two.
Even if she saw the original, the cartoon version, she won't be able to like.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. It's scary. It's scary.
Well, I took my daughter to Space Mountain, and she did not like that. She was totally freaked out of Space Mountain. So she's bold, but she doesn't really like to be frightened. and there's certain movies that she could be freaked out by. Like I showed her Never Ending Story, and she enjoyed that and wasn't freaked out by the wolf scene. I thought she would be freaked out by the wolf scene. I was freaked out by the wolf scene at the end. Another thing that stood out to me were a lot of the lines, like, you know, that were reminiscent of I know you are, but what am I? Like, let me let you let me go, which I thought was really witty. Did I say it right?
Let me let you let me run.
Let me let you run. Let me run.
That sometimes is preceded by you seem really busy. Like people, like I stole that from somebody, a friend of mine, who's still my friend, even though I steal all his material. He's not a writer, so I feel like it's fair game. It's fair game. Yeah. So he always, like, in the middle of a conversation, he'll say, like, well, listen, you seem really busy. Let me let you let me run. And I always thought that was really funny too. My one that I live for right now is if anybody says, like, you should do this, or why don't you do this? If any sentence starts like that, I get really excited because I know I'm going to go like, why don't you?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that those things, though, are what make the character great. And my mom laughed every time you said that in the movie. It was pretty funny.
Well, I'd like to ask you a question about your mom. I'm still thinking about your mom.
Yeah,
your mom must be funny. Your mom must have like a sense of humor because you're funny. You
I get it from her. Funny. And she's great, man. She's my rock. She's spent the week with me, and I need that sometimes. We don't get a chance to hang out.
Does she cook when she comes out here? No,
I like to make her take it easy.
Good.
I like to have her relax, and we go out. We went to the Ivy. She loves the Ivy, so we do that. I make sure we do that. I put on a suit. She put on a dress. We did the whole thing. So it's just, I think it's rejuvenating for me to be around that love every once in a while.
Does she must get super excited about your fame too, right?
Well, I mean, I'm her son no matter what. It's that the other stuff is the other stuff, and it's been going on so long that it's been tough to have our time when we go out in public, but we've been able to like find a balance and go to places that a little bit more chill, and it's cool. No, she don't trip on that. She's proud though. She's really proud. I was kind of giving her a hard time because she just had a couple things up on the wall when I came home to visit, and I was like, "What is this shrine?" She's like, "It's not a shrine. I'm proud." And I was like, okay. "No, she's my best friend." I'm really bummed that she left before I was planning. I was trying to get her to stay longer so she can come and see you because she really enjoyed it. And I was like, I'm seeing him in a couple of days. She was like, get out. So we'll take a picture if that costs $35 too. Like I said, I have cash.
I'm going to give you a break. I'm going to do it for 15.
Nice. Okay. I'll take it. She's been like one of my main supporters since day one. I moved out to New York when I was 20 to pursue music.
Is there music in your family?
Yeah, she was a music teacher for quite some time, over 30 years, and also a guidance counselor. So choir was always in the house. And I went to...
Did she push you into, did she like support you in terms of like a musical career?
Yeah. She was always encouraging me to sing. I didn't really... she would always say I had a voice. I didn't really, I didn't see it. It was always about rapping, But then over time, I was able to splice the both of them in a way that worked for me. And that's how, Kid Cudi was born, the early stuff. But
the rest is history.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like to me, yeah.
From there, but it's interesting that my mom recognized something before I even did. And I guess that's the amazing thing about parents is that's their power, and then she nurtured that and by throwing me into choir against my will a lot and into the church choir against my will a lot. And sometimes there were briberies going on for solos and choir. You know, if she would want me to do a solo, I'd say cool. You know, if you give me these Jordans, I'll do it. So it's like negotiations, you know, going on. Wasn't blackmail. It was like negotiating. You know, and it always worked out. But yeah, man, music definitely, my musical side, it's a lot on her side, but there's some on my father's side too. So I have a splice, and it's dope that I've been able to have the confidence to dive into it, because I don't think I really did early on. It was like something I didn't really see, and it wasn't like, you know, something I thought was for me.
I was trying to think on the way here, like, what do we have in common? Like, what's our bond? Like, I met 3 people on the same night. I met you, Joe Manganiello, and Eric Stonestreet, the actor from Modern Family.
Right.
And all 3 of us, all 3 of those people and me, I feel like we all have one thing. I mean, we have a few things in common, I think, but one thing I think we have in common is we're all funny. We all like like to see.
Paul thinks I'm funny.
We all like to see. No, but you pull humor from your world. Like you see the funny things in life. I know you do. I've been with you when you do it. And you get enjoyment out of life. I don't know you well enough to know, like, are you like, is the glass always half full?
Right.
But you're that guy to some degree. You have joy in life, and you see the positive, funny. You draw humor from things, and Joe does that, and Eric does that, and I do that. And so I just wonder beyond that, like, you know, what do you think it is? Like, the plot of my movie is I like look at Joe and we like practically fall in love. I mean, we just like have this immediate connection.
Yeah.
And you and me had that. Like, I mean, the same night.
Yeah.
You looked at me and you did kind of geek out, and I did the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, and you said this already. We had this very real moment, I felt like, where we just went like, I like you and you like me.
Yeah.
And like, let's say hi.
Yeah, and I was definitely in a weird place in my life at that time. And I mean, because fame is a weird thing, and I was adjusting. So to see you brought me back to Scott in the midst of Kid Cudi, HBO, you know, what was happening, How to Make It in America. It brought me back to like this kid, and it was like pure in the moment. So that's why I say it's something I always remember, because at that time I was definitely troubled and dealing with a lot, you know. I think I was working on releasing my second album by then. I had the HBO show going on. And I didn't know what the fuck was going on, and like around me.
It's confusing. It's a weird time for sure.
Yeah, so it was like, man, I didn't know if I was ever going to make it past that year. So I was like, man, I saw Paul Reubens, man. Yeah, I can die tomorrow. Yeah, it's cool.
I felt the same way. Yeah. I really did. I remember that moment really, really crystal clear, like 5 years ago.
Hell yeah. Then I don't have. I think the other person I met that night where I geeked out was Stan Lee, and that's the only other person I met that night. It's interesting because he said he knew who I was, and I was just like, I didn't know, you know, but it doesn't matter. I was like, man, this is pretty awesome. But I don't meet people like that, and I don't go to those parties anymore. So when I do connect with people, it doesn't even matter in the business, in life. I like to keep them, you know, and stay close to them. That's a real connection, a real energy that you just can miss in a town like this.
You also like to get, like, you're like, I said a minute ago, you're funny, but you're also very serious. Like, that's a great mixture. I feel like that's my mixture. That's Joe's mixture. Like, a lot of my friends and people that I connect with, it's fun. Like, when we first hung out, the first time we hung out after we met, we got like deep really fast. All of a sudden we're having like a real serious conversation about stuff. We covered like funny subjects, but we got real serious too, and that's always like refreshing. Is like kind of a bad word. I don't know what's the right word,
I mean,
but I like
is the
that
word. I mean, for sure, because it's when do you have that in this town, and 2 people from 2 different worlds, and you know, in a day and age where everybody wants to be so segregated, and it's all the shit going on in the world, and there's so much ugliness. It's like, man, we need more love, and people embracing one another in that way. Just, you know, appreciating each other's art is a great start. And I don't know, man. I'm just big on just being upfront about shit, and especially when someone has touched my life in a way, especially through their work, and you have. We didn't have shit, but we had a TV, and we had you on Saturdays and Sundays, whatever it was. I think it was Saturdays, right?
Yeah.
And that was cool. That helped us forget about what was going on. The fact that we didn't have much, but we had fucking Pee-wee's Playhouse, and that was cool. It's just a beautiful thing. I never knew I would be in this position to even be meeting you and then even be getting invited to be in the movie and then have this conversation and this one-on-one. This is just still, to me, it's
I forgot you couldn't be in the movie.
Yeah, man, I'm
pissed. Reliving the disappointment about that now.
I thought he hated me for a little bit.
And it was at the last minute, too.
I'm like off the Christmas list. Don't get any more Christmas cards or any.
You got a card, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I was waiting for it. I was nervous. I was like, if I don't get a card, there's beef. I have to go to his house with a fruitcake or something or some salad or like some cookies that I made myself. But I was really bummed, and especially it brought back the bummer watching the film because it was just really great. It would have been great to be a part of it, but
next one.
We still, I'm like I said, I'm around. I would love to do more, do stuff with you. And I have some stuff coming up because I noticed you do a lot, even with Gotham. And I when I heard that you're reprising your role, it was like, yes, this is kind of cool because the Keaton Batman is my favorite Batman, and I remember that second Batman, and it was like your work outside of Pee-wee I followed, and it's always been great. And I appreciate Pee-wee, but as an adult, it's just like, man, this is acting, and this is something different too. It's just nice to grow up and watch an actor kind of transition and do something different, and I can appreciate something of theirs as an adult, to watch Blow and be like, wow. Like, that's the coolest character I've ever seen. And he's still cool. Pee-wee's still cool. And he's just doing his thing. And this is like a different thing, But also, one of the things that really makes me a fan is even in your characters, like that character in Blow, for example, there's a lot of heart in that character. That guy wasn't a bad guy, And it pissed me off when
that guy's the only guy in that whole story that never went to jail.
Well, everybody kind of went out. In the end of the scene, it looks like they're going to jail, but in the end, he didn't go to jail.
In the real story, though, in real life, that's the only person in that whole story that didn't wind up in jail.
Yeah.
And he disappeared. Nobody supposedly knows where that guy is. But when we were filming the movie, a couple people came up to me and said, like, "Oh, I know where that guy is."
Yeah, he's in Costa Rica right now. I just saw him. We FaceTimed last week. He said he loved the film. He just got a chance to see it on VHS. Now, how did that come about? How did that script come to you? The script for Blow.
The director of that movie, Ted Demme, who passed away right after the movie was made, super fantastic, very, very nice, kind, talented man. He called me up and said, "I'm watching Pee-wee's Playhouse with my young daughter, and I really want to work with you on something, and would you read this script?" And then I read the script, and he offered me a different part. He offered me the part of the guy who's played by an actor named Jordi Moya, who he's the guy who takes Johnny Depp's character down to Colombia and introduces him to...
The dude that stabs him in the back eventually?
Yeah. And he offered me that part, which I'm completely wrong for. I mean, that guy, in the original script, that guy was Colombian. And the guy kept saying, like, "You don't understand, man. You're not Colombian." And I felt like the audience would be like, "Yeah, Pee-wee, you're not Colombian either, man." Like, no matter how good I was in that, I couldn't pull that off. So I suggested I play this other part that was, kind of the comic relief a little bit in that movie.
And the heart, because he's a nice guy. Like I said, he cared even at the party, at that last scene when, before the raid, when he's looking at his wife and she's like freaking out.
Like, that was so much fun. That was really a fun movie to make.
That's what I was going to ask. It looked like it was a lot of fun to make that movie.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I could do a movie like that one day. It's just that much fun.
Never know. Cheech and Chong may make another movie.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's like, I'm very selective like you. Something that's to come down the pipeline that's stimulating. And, even
you're a writer too, so
I try.
You could write. You got to write something for yourself, I think.
I'm working on some stuff right now
with an older white guy.
I'm actually going to send you the script I'm working on. I want you to tell me if it's crap or if it's good.
Okay.
I need your opinion.
I'm sure it's going to need like an older white character in it.
I actually have a character for you already.
All right, perfect.
So you don't even understand. I've already written you in the show.
Oh, perfect. All right.
And I'm not bullshitting.
I'm sure I'm going to love it then.
It's an amazing character. He's actually...
I'll be the judge of that.
He's actually a mentor of my characters. And
he steers you completely wrong.
No. He gives him amazing advice on women, but also business advice as well. But he kind of hooks him up with, like, my character kind of hooks him up with stuff, you know. I don't want to get into the details.
I mean, it sounds really vague.
But it's like he found this uncle in a character he never knew he would. And
what's the name of it? Do you have a name yet?
No, I want to keep it on the hush hush.
Okay.
This is top secret. See, we're so
whatever
cool.
The title
we're
is.
We're so cool. I'm telling top secret shit in here. I should not even be talking about this. But
I won't tell anybody.
We'll keep it a secret.
I see it with like a number after it though, like number 6 or something.
Yeah.
Like you've already made 5 of them.
Right. We'll find
a franchise.
Spin them off. Yeah. But I think that this is something that could be a big step to writing and getting into that world. But I don't know. It's just an idea I've been sitting on, and it's been in my head. And I finally, like 2 years ago, decided to put the pen to the paper and start writing an outline, and then learning how to like use Final Draft, which took another year just for that. And you know, just learn.
You should have called me. I would have told you how to do Final Draft so fast.
Man, I would have loved that because, you know, but I figured it out because I have a lot of, you know, old scripts, old pilots. And I really just wanted to find, you know, a good pilot structure. Because that's all I really wanted to do is just know how I could do that. And then from there, that's the blueprint, you know, for the show. And whoever else takes it from there, I just wanted to have that right. So I took it upon myself. I could have hired someone, but like I was up for the challenge. So I don't know. It could be shit, but I'll let you know. I'll let you read it. And I think your character, I'm trying to find a way for him to
get paid a lot of money. Oh.
Well, he's a big part of the show. He's like my neighbor, and it's like what I don't want to get into. I don't want to like when we're not on the record. It's really dope. I'll tell you about it.
Oh, okay, cool.
And this is a dead
Oh, well, let's get off the record. I want to hear all about it.
But, you know, you're a busy man. Every time I talk to you, you're like, you know, traveling, doing this, doing that. But
so are you, though.
I'm trying. I'm trying to stay busy and not lose my mind. But I want to play you some new music. And
I thought you were just saying I want to play you.
I could play you in a way where I could be like Pee-wee's apprentice. And I'm also in a suit. What kind of suit would I have on? Like maybe like Pee-wee has a gray suit.
There was a very famous book called Black Like Me. And
I have to Google it.
I always thought that's what my title would be in a movie. I would do a movie very similar and call it Black Like P.
Black Like P. Hold on. Black Like Me. Oh wait, here it is. I found it. Black Like Me is a nonfiction book. Who's
the author? It's somebody super famous.
John Howard Griffin.
Oh, no, that's not who I was thinking.
The book describes a 6-week experience traveling on Greyhound buses. That's a nightmare. Throughout the racially segregated states of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, passing as a black man. Wow.
That's my next movie. I'm going to remake that. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
I think that's probably
at the time of the book's writing, race relations in America were particularly strained, and Griffith aimed to explain the difficulties that black people face in certain areas. He was doing undercover research. You know, he's trying to prove a point. I like it. I'm not against it. I think, you know, some people would be mad, but...
No, the one I really want to remake is Death Wish.
I think they are doing that with Bruce Willis.
Oh.
I saw something. I saw something the other day.
I want to do one inspired by that. Well, it'll just be inspired by that then. Where just people say like, I'm Pee Wee Herman, and people say something to me and I go like, what did you say?
Exactly. And you just kill everybody.
And then I kill everyone.
Yeah, because maybe they, you know, killed your wife and you have to get revenge. Or they kidnapped your daughter, you know, something extreme.
Something happens at the beginning. I get a hangnail.
That pisses you off. Yeah, like in the whole movie, you're just hell-bent on slaying everyone that has anything to do with it.
I step on a push pin, and it makes me so angry that I kill everyone in the world.
Well, or you kill everybody that has anything to do with the people that created that.
The push pin industry.
Yeah. So you literally go online, you Googling like, the manufacturers, you're digging deep. You're P.O. boxing. I mean, you're looking for the CEO. Mm-hmm. I mean, you might, you know,
I source
put bananas in his tailpipe, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, no.
Sugar.
Maybe, but that's a prelude to death, though, really.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, so what do you want to do? You want to just like...
We started so light and happy, and now I'm taking it into...
Yeah. All right, let's double back.
Yeah, let's take it light again.
Where are my notes?
How about talking about a cute little puppy?
All right. I was thinking about getting a puppy. What kind of dog should I get for my daughter?
Something really tiny and cute.
Yeah, she said she really told me specifically. She's like, Daddy, can you get me something like I can actually like pick up and hold? Because I have a bulldog, an old English bulldog who's just a beast. She just wants something. So I was thinking like, what would be practical?
Well, a rescue dog, you could go and
but is there
find
a
little
specific
mutt
breed
somewhere
or something like that?
Ooh, I'm not much of a dog person. I don't know much about
into
dogs.
Cats?
No, I don't have pets.
Okay.
I just like looking out the window and seeing the wild ones.
Yeah. See, I don't like looking at the wild ones. It's like when skunks come around, you smell them. I mean, I'm locking up the whole fortress. Skunks are my worst nightmare. My dog got sprayed by one. And, when the dogs get sprayed, I heard like it irritates their skin, right? It gets like, super itchy. So they run in the house and they're freaking out. They don't really know what's going on. And then, they're running throughout the house and the house is reeking now of skunk. And you're trying to calm them down. And I think my dog got sprayed like on the top of his head, not in his eyes, thank God. But, you got to throw him in the bath immediately, put tomato soup on him and bathe him. And that was an interesting experience.
You had that much tomato soup in your house?
We had to go get some. Luckily, my sister was there with me. She helped me. If I was there by myself, it would have been a nightmare. But we were able to go get some pails of tomato soup right up the street. And,
Thank God. Yeah. Thank goodness. Yeah. That's the whole beauty of being famous, is having an assistant that can
or just a friend that can
help you out in a skunk situation.
There's some people that want to help you out that you don't have to pay for. But me, unfortunately, I don't have those people around. So I have to like pay for them.
I get it. Believe me. I have an assistant too.
A few shillings, but I don't think I can handle a skunk or a raccoon. Or what did I see the other day? What are they called? A mountain lion?
Ooh, you saw a mountain lion?
I thought, what was a mountain lion? I don't know. It could have been an optical illusion. It could have been just shadows outside my house. I got a lot of bushes in the back.
Shaped like mountain lions?
Yeah, I mean, the wind. It's windy. So, this is where we include the laugh track.
You seem really busy. I'm going to let you know.
That was a perfect cue. Perfect cue.
This is Nick Dawson from Talkhouse Film, and you've been listening to Kid Cudi and Paul Reubens on the Talkhouse Film podcast. This episode was engineered by Sam Duell and edited by Mark Yoshizumi. The podcast producer is Elia Einhorn. For more filmmakers talking film and TV, visit thetalkhouse.com/film. Subscribe to Talkhouse Film and Talkhouse Music podcasts on iTunes, where you can find all our previous episodes. And while you're there, please rate and review if you can.
Yeah, do I hit my symbol here? That's it.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
That was cool.